Hello, welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy, or welcome back, and I am here for Vlogmas Day 21. Holy cow, we are almost to Christmas. And I woke up early this morning and I planned out what the rest of the days are gonna be, so I'm excited. But yeah, let's just get into it because I've got an Avalanche game soon. If you could not tell, I've got my jersey and my beanie and I'm ready for tonight's game. So first off, let's talk about my the first advent calendar we will be doing tonight. It is Adagio Tea's 24 Days of Tea. This is the loose leaf version. If you enjoy tea and enjoy advent calendars, I highly recommend doing them. They are my favorite tea company. This is the 4th year I've done it. I've tried other brands. They were okay. This is my favorite, especially the loose leaf version. They throw in a lot of unique or special blends that the bagged version doesn't have. So I definitely recommend, if you want to try them, go for the loose leaf version. If you have missed any of my other Vlogmas videos, all of them are in a playlist, so you can check them all out. But let's see here, while I get this out, I do have a spreadsheet that I did in 2020 and last year, 2021, keeping track of what the blends were and my rating out of 5. And then this year, for some reason, I changed it to out of 10. Don't ask me why I decided to change it on the first day, but I did, so there we go. But yeah, so I will check. Alright, so I'm trying not to look at it. We'll pop that back over there. Oh my goodness. So today's tea is Always Nuts. I know this is a new blend because when I placed my order, they had Always Nuts offered as a new tea. And so I actually got a free sample bag of this. I have not tried it yet, but it is I think nut-free. I think it's supposed to be nut-free. So if you have allergies, I think you can drink this. If I remember correctly. But I know that this is a new blend that they created not too long ago, so this is exciting. And like I said, I do have, I think, a 1-ounce bag of this that I got as a free sample when I placed my order. They do that frequently. They will have place an order and get this free, this free, this free. And so, you know, I've gotten a lot of free tea from them, which is exciting. I don't usually do, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm like talking and doing things without doing my normal routine. So, Always Nuts. They recommend steeping 5 to 10 minutes at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The ingredients are apple pieces, cinnamon, rose hips, cocoa nibs, hibiscus, natural creme brulee flavor, and toasted almond flavor. And this is no caffeine, so this is an herbal tea. Oh! Yeah, it's very almondy, and it's got some sweetness to it, too. I'm not really getting the cinnamon too much. It's kind of buried in there, but the sweetness, I'm guessing, is from the apple and the cocoa nibs and the creme brulee flavor. But that smells good. I'm not the biggest almond person, and this is very almond prominent, but it smells good. It smells really good. So there is what it looks like. Look at all those big chunky apple pieces and then the rose hips. So pretty. Okay, so tonight I'm using my green strainer. And here is the bottom strainer. What is this? Infuser. Strainer, infuser. Same thing, right? Same thing. All right. Wow, there was not as much tea because all of the pieces are larger. It looks like there's not as much in there, but I'm excited to try this. And I know this is a new blend to them. So that's even more exciting to be like, hi, can I help you? Come here. Come say hi. Come here. Come here. Come say hi to everybody. Come here. Right. Say hi. Look right here. Say hi. I'm Rinks. Hi, Rinky Dink. Okay, you're making a mess in here. I know. You're not going to step over. You're just going to hang out now? You're going to sit on my chair? Hey, not yours. Leave her food alone. You're going to be naughty. Go. I swear. Okay, so dog interruption. I don't know where to put these. I'll just toss them on the bed. Okay. Oh, this was steeping. I was going to show you. Tonight I am using my Seinfeld mug. And it has the Festivus rules. And then on the back, Festivus for the rest of us. And it's got the ugly sweater design. But yeah, I love this. This was actually a gift from my boss. She always quotes Seinfeld, or maybe not as much anymore, but I had never watched it. And then I finally started trying it, of course, right before it left Hulu. And I was like, because I'd seen episodes in passing that's like Friends, where it's one of those shows that's always on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I actually find this funny now. But she actually had me watch his stand-up comedy show, or not stand-up, comedians in cars getting coffee or whatever. Obsessed with that show. I thought it was super fun. And then I tried Seinfeld, and I now am at an age where I find it hilarious. So, but I think, and then it left Hulu, so I didn't get very far. I think it's on Netflix now, though. If you know, let me know down below. But I definitely want to watch the rest of Seinfeld. But yeah, so while that's steeping, let's talk about today's novella. So I read today at work, Knew You Were Mine. This is by Angela Maria Hart. This is a new to me author, and from what I can tell, this is a debut book-ish. There's no information on Goodreads. The only information that you can find is on her website about this book. And I read this via audiobook, and this was on the Read Me Romance podcast, and it was published around the 8th, December 8th. And this one is split into 2 parts. So yeah, I actually contacted her, and I was like, hi, I read your novella, and I enjoyed it, but I'm one of those people who keeps crazy stats about the books I read. Can I please get when this was published? And if you have any sort of page count for me, that would be great. So I haven't heard anything yet. The podcast episodes are 47 minutes and about an hour and a half. However, on the first podcast, they were talking a lot about a lot of things, the people that host it. And so I feel like only the last 20 minutes was for the book. And then of the one that's like an hour and a half, I feel like maybe an hour and 15-ish was for the book. So that's about how long a novella I read earlier this month was. That was 70 pages. So right now my placeholder is 70 pages. And I put 2022 because I couldn't find an ebook anywhere, like I mentioned, and it's not on Goodreads. So I feel like this is technically it being published. So yeah, that's what I think. So not too much information. But this is, I enjoyed this. This just definitely wasn't really marketed towards me. I thought this might be new adult based on the blurb, but this is definitely young adult. The heroine is, I mean, they are 18 years old, or she is 18 years old, but she is in high school, and the hero is 19 years old and in college. However, the way that she was talking about him, it seemed like there was a bigger age gap and that he was like a few years older than her, and that he was like a couple years into college, which he could have gone early, but I don't know. And then her, okay, so this is Natalie and Clark. This is a forced proximity, snowed in alone at the house, mutual pining, and best friend's older brother. So Natalie is best friends with Hope, who is a year younger than her. And Natalie is from a house with, I mean, it was kind of hard to tell, a lot of siblings, it sounded like. It's always very active. She doesn't really have her own space. She's at least sharing her bedroom or her bed with at least one sister. And the parents are gone, I guess. And Hope, Natalie's best friend, is going to the city. So this may or may not be a small town. I don't really know. But she's going to the city to spend the weekend, like before Christmas, leading up to Christmas, with her boyfriend. And offers for Natalie to stay in the house and like house sit and basically have that alone time. And Natalie's planning on writing that last term paper, which also kind of was confusing for me because she was talking about graduation and stuff, but typically high school don't have early graduation in December, not like college. So I was a little confused there. But basically she's gonna like write some papers and read, and like she was very much a heroine that was written to appeal to romance readers and readers in general, but more specifically romance readers, I feel like. Because, you know, she talks about how all that she packed was 50 pounds of books and her flannel pajamas and leggings and like cozy clothes, like, which, I mean, it was kind of, like, it felt like that was there to, like, we didn't really need that information. Like, why do we care what she's packing when she's just going to be staying at her friend's house? Like, I don't know. And maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on this book, but it wasn't geared to me, I feel like. You could definitely tell that this is an earlier work of the author's, or maybe one that didn't get a lot of beta reading or editing or something like that, because there was a lot of repetition in some of the phrases and some things were like overly described. And usually that kind of stuff doesn't bother me very much, but here I found myself making comments at work of like, you just said that. You just said that. And then there was at one point where, like, in one sentence, she talks about Clark, the hero, reminding her of someone from a romance novel. And then in the next sentence, it's literally saying how he reminds her of a Marvel action hero. And I'm just like, let's pick one metaphor, please. And we don't need them literally right after each other. So that, plus their young ages. And then it just kind of felt weird when we got to the steamy scenes. These are mutual pining. She's loved him forever. He's loved her forever. He wasn't expecting her to be at the house. And then the snowstorm picks up and her friend had borrowed her car to go to the city. So she didn't want to ask him to give her a ride home, even though she knew he would. And then the power goes out at some point. And then there's a very awkward, I thought it was really awkward scene where she's in the house when he gets home and she's in the shower. And she keeps hearing sounds. And she's just like, I think I'm hearing things. I think I'm hearing things. I think I'm hearing things. And I'm like, you're an 18-year-old alone in a house that technically isn't yours. And you're hearing things and you're not freaking out? I used to house sit for my dad. And I knew the house. I'd been to the house lots of times. I'd spent the night there lots of times, sometimes for weeks at a time. When I would house sit for them, any tiny little noise, I'd be like, oh, is it a bear? Because he used to live up in the mountains. And it was never a bear. But, you know, it's just those little things of when you're alone and you're in a situation where maybe it's not easy to get help, or you feel like it's not easy to get help. I mean, me, I was up in the mountains, so if there was a situation, it would have been a while for emergency services to reach me. And maybe not the case here. But as an 18-year-old, I feel like maybe that should have been heightened. So it was just kind of weird. And she's in the bathroom and she goes to wrap a towel around herself and she's like, oh, this just barely fits over my C cups. Oh, imagine if I had D cups. I couldn't even close the towel around me. And I'm like, girl, you are in a bathroom. Grab a bigger towel. You don't need to use the towel that specifically was laid out. And there was so much description into this towel that it was a Snoopy bath towel, which I love. Christmas Snoopy. But I can't tell you how many times she would kept talking about Snoopy and Woodstock and how that was covering her breasts. And I was just like... So yeah, I feel like I'm being really harsh on it. I enjoyed my time listening to it though, but there was just a lot of little things that I was kind of feeling nitpicky about. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm like really being nitpicky about. But I think part of it is new author. And maybe this is how 18-year-olds think nowadays, and I'm just out of touch as an early 30s person, but oh my gosh. So I gave this 3 stars, and I was being generous. I mean, the Steam was fine. It was kind of glossed over-ish. There was mentioned that if you join her website, or on her website she made it like a choose your own Steam adventure or something like that. So there is more explicit steamy scenes on her website. I pulled it up to just see if I could even find it, and I could not find it at all. But I was going through her website to try to figure out information about this book outside of the blurb. So, I don't know. But I did not read that or listen to it. I don't know if it was also via audio or if that was just ebook. But, I mean, for a less than 2-hour audiobook, it was fine. I like the production of this one a lot better. It was all just one person reading it, and I thought she did a pretty good job between the 2 different POVs. So yeah, 3 stars. So this just, I mean, it was fine. I feel like if I were to let all my nitpicks get to me, I'd probably give this more of a 2, but I'm going to leave it at 3 because it is, from what I can tell, maybe a debut-ish book. I mean, it seems like she's a writer and she does a lot of blog posts about writing, and maybe she writes and publishes under like a pen name or something like that. But from what I could tell, this is like her first like published book, if you consider this publishing. So yeah, there's that. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. The Avalanche game is on behind you, or the face-off stuff, and because it's the last game before Christmas, all of the like pre-game, post-game, current in-game people all have ugly sweaters on except for Riker. Riker has this giant freaking tie that has I think Rudolph all over it, and then he had a pocket square that's Santa popping out, and it's like this red and green Christmas plaid. I love Altitude Sports. They just they are the best sports broadcasting company, I think, because they play with humor so well. I love it to pieces. I love them to pieces. So let's try this. This is definitely faint. I feel like I could let this steep a lot longer, but yeah, I definitely would want, I feel like it's maybe not enough tea, or I need it to steep a lot longer, but that could also be because I have a lot larger mug than that. Like, this is one of my big mugs. So what I might do is try to go find my sample pack and then steep it with some more tea. Let me try stirring it, because it looked like there was some tea sitting at the bottom in a higher concentration. That helped. But no, that is super almondy, but it's also got this sweetness to it, but it's an almondy that I like. I'm gonna give this 8 out of 10. This is really good. And that, like, this is a really good nutty tea. And like I said, double check. I don't know 100% sure if natural almond flavor actually can be eaten by people who have nut allergies, but I believe that's what they said in their advertising, is that this was safe for people with nut allergies. So definitely check it out if you like nutty teas. Okay, last things last. Let me pull my other advent calendar. So we've got December 21st. So, this is the other advent calendar I have this year as I throw things on the floor here. And it is from Fortune Cookie Soap. The theme for their advent calendar this year is Letters to Santa. And they offered 2 options, a 6-day and a 12-day. And I got the 12-day version. All of the scent descriptions are on the back. But we're going to look at it first and see what it is. If you have not heard of Fortune Cookie Soap before, you haven't seen my other vlogs or any other time I talk about them, they are my favorite bath and body product company. I love them to pieces. They are based out of Oklahoma, and they do a small, handmade, small batch products. And they have different collections each month, and then they have mini collections, and they have a subscription box and the whole gamut. So definitely check them out if you're interested in them. So today, look at this pretty blue. And this is Tradition Exfoliating Body Wash. Ooh. I've had their exfoliating like sugar scrubs and their body polishes and stuff. And I have a couple of their like normal body washes, but I haven't seen the exfoliating body wash. But maybe that's just because I haven't bought it before. But let's see what it smells like. This is Tradition. I love this color blue. Very pretty. Okay, and there is a seal on it. So if I can get the seal to come off, so I can smell it. Definitely more florals. I feel like this is a lot more floral based than I'm used to for their Christmas boxes. Oh, really? Do you want to sniff? Yeah, you're like, Mommy, why are you sniffing that? She got very excited that I was over here sniffing stuff. I mean, I'm getting something. I mean, there's definitely florals in here. And I'm getting vanilla. I feel like there's something else sweet. Like maybe a caramel or a creme brulee. Maybe that's left over from the tea. Yeah, but I don't mind that. The florals are a little overpowering for me. But, so I would probably give this like a 3.5 out of 5 scent-wise. But I feel like this is decent for a body wash. Because then I usually do some type of oil or milk or cream after the shower. So then that would kind of be the overriding skin scent. But yeah, so this is a Tradition. One more look, and then I will read the description here. Okay, this is Tradition. Do you know what this is? A mixture of juicy plums and whipped caramel cream blend effortlessly with artisan bourbon, vanilla, and jasmine blossoms. Just a little something to remember the centuries of glorious hatred passed down through the generations. I feel like I'm missing what this is based off of. If you know, let me know. Huh. I don't know. But anyway, that was fun. Yeah, so that is it I have for our advent calendars. We talked about today's novella, and we only have 4 more days of Vlogmas left. And only 3 more novellas to talk about. 3 more days of tea, 4 more days of the Fortune Cookie Soap advent calendar. I can't believe we're almost at the end here. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to leave me an emoji down below for fun, why don't you do something nuts? Either a tree or an acorn or some sort of nut icon, something like that, something fun. But yeah, otherwise like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know what to do, and I will see you all tomorrow.